Awesome. This stuff is being recorded, so watch what you say. All right, well, excellent. Good stuff. I'm really happy to have you guys on board, and we're going to kind of dive into the agenda. If you guys wouldn't mind putting yourselves on mute just while you're, or maybe we can do that, just while you're not speaking, that'll keep the background noise kind of down to a minimum. Anyway, welcome to 2020. It's an exciting new year, and we're super pumped to be rocking and rolling. We've got some excellent recaps for you guys. For those of you who maybe were not able to attend the workshop in December, we had 43 attendees. We had some board members there as well. So the room holds about 50. So between everybody, we had about 50 people there. We had 115 registered for the webinar and 84 who attended. So that was, you know, a big plus. We are going to continue to push the envelope and reach out and do as much webinar activity for folks who cannot attend the sessions live. So that was great news. Love to see that. We did the first hour, a little over an hour, for free, and so that's what that was. But we'll talk more about how we can expand that and also get people paying to attend those webinars if they want to as well. So moving on to any questions on the workshops or how it went, or if anybody has comments. Okay. All right, well, we'll keep on cruising then to the second section. If you're looking at the agenda, looking at our goals and our kind of mission for 2020. Here we are in January, but it's going to go fast. So we have quarter one, our Q1. We're doing quarterly live workshops at least, is kind of what everybody's kind of targeting and what we're committed to do. So we have quarter one is on the books, and that is February 18th and 20th. So February 18th is in Fort Myers, and you're going to have, we're just finishing up some of the location and agenda, but we're going to have that sent out shortly, hopefully next week. We have the first session February 18th in Fort Myers at the Lee County facility, one of their facilities, training centers. So we'll get the address out for that. And then we have on the 20th, we cruise across the state almost directly east, and we'll be in the Palm Beach County area. I'm still waiting for confirmation, but likely we'll be at the in the Palm Beach Gardens area, actually a training room that the city has there. They're great people, and so just trying to confirm that. So we'll get that confirmed and set. So that, just for those of you who have not heard maybe, although I think you all have, we have this first Q1 is on pavement/asset management, and that's going to be covered in the morning. And then in the evening, yeah, there we go. Thanks, Larry. That's the draft agenda, but it's going to be understanding pavement management and the micropaver system. So we've got Aaron Gerber from Kircher Engineering, and then we have Scott Stevens from Kissinger Campo and Associates addressing kind of the two sides of the pavement management coin, as they say. So then we'll have 12:30, just after lunch, we'll do lunch, box lunch like we did before, and then we'll have the estimable, fabulous Larry Galehouse doing the pavement preservation concept. So he covered some of this, but we're going to dive into that a little bit more, going through making the case. And then at 1:30, we'll have Ken Holton, who formerly was with the City of Tampa, and he is going to be covering asphalt rejuvenators and fog seals. And then you can see at 2:45, we'll finish up with crack treatments and how to deal with crack top of the curve. So So that's kind of the way we've got that set. Are there any questions on that draft agenda that we're looking at?
What's the date?
Chris, this is Colin talking.
Yeah.
It looks like Ken Holton is has a conflict on the 20th.
Okay.
So I have John Calvert from Tennessee. He runs the APWA Training Institute there. He's going to pick up that section.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. And then somebody else was speaking. I couldn't tell who.
Yeah, it's me, Scott.
Scott. Okay. Hey.
What are the dates for these again?
Okay. It's February 18th and February 20th.
Okay.
So anyway,
these titles can be changed too. So I mean, if that's not exactly what you want for a title, there's no problem in changing it, Scott.
Okay.
That's true.
Well,
yes. So that's kind of what we're focused on now. We're going to be getting that blast out. I had a lot of help from Kristen on kind of getting the word out through their system, and we'll try to, and then I sent out probably I think 3 different sets of emails to our FPPC distribution list. Fortunately, that list is growing now because we had folks that were on the webinar and folks that were certainly interested. We also got that information out on our social media channels, which is working very well now as well. So that's good stuff. After that, as we move forward, let me talk about cost on that. One of the things that we talked about was changing the cost. And so we had looked at, these things include lunch, they include, a lot of lifting as far as training. So we kind of did that first one, kind of the reboot at $25. And we had this set. We had a lot of people give us feedback to that last email that I sent out that they really thought that we should keep it under $100. So that's what we have. You'll see there, Larry's highlighted that at the $80 mark. So that we're trying to find our way as far as how that's going to work. The one thing, and Larry, I think that we've looked at this before. I think one of the things that we have done in previous years and helped us get participation is we allowed the host, allowed the host, in this instance, Lee County, to send somebody to that workshop at no cost. Isn't that right, Larry?
I honestly can't remember. Maybe Chuck can.
Okay.
Chuck, can you recall that when we did Lee County?
He may not be able to respond or unmute, but I know from Todd, I believe I'd heard Todd had done that before. I think as a matter of thanking them to do that would be appropriate. I don't know what you guys think. And they're kind of helping us keep the cost low by offering their training facility. Any thoughts on that, guys?
I see no problem with it. I think that's a good gesture for the host city.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Good. Okay. Anybody opposed to that or anything?
No, I think it's a good idea too. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I think it makes sense. It's just one of those things where it's a great way to thank them for putting up the facility, and it gets them the ability to one of their guys to attend as well. So that's good. And now with the cost being addressed and higher, we've got a little bit more room to breathe in here as far as defining the cost and everything, cost of travel, cost all that. So okay. All right, so that's pretty much it. One other thing, because of the ability to get folks to attend the webinars, what we have not talked about is whether we can go ahead and allow folks to register for the webinar and basically do the entire a session web-based. Obviously, this was easier when we were at USF. I think we can still come up with a way to do it. Kristen, do you have any take on that?
Hi there. Yeah, I mean, whatever you guys need us to do in regards to setting up the webinar for people to register, just let us know and we can,
Okay.
set that up at any time as far in advance as a year if you need it.
Okay. And so I think we could still do a registration link and still have them pay so moving forward, if they want to attend the entire day with the webinar, they could do that if they pay the fee. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. I will need to check on that. I mean, as long as the fee is going through you guys, and I think we could just, provide the, the go-to webinar setting, so that shouldn't be a problem. But I will verify that and let you know.
Okay, and then we would just do it through our computer. Then of course it would come through the audio because it wouldn't be at your.
Exactly. Yeah, similar to last time, we'll have the microphone. You could have a microphone set up, and it'll just kind of go through your computer. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Anybody have any comment on that? Do you think that would be a different cost, or what do you guys think?
Well, Chris.
Well, Chris,
you
you probably should offer a discount, I suppose.
Okay. Larry, go
Chris,
ahead.
we also have the GoToMeeting webinar capabilities through the center.
That's what I thought.
And, yeah, we have that capability, and I suppose we could set up a mic there and capture it all.
Yeah, I was thinking.
But, I think it's just messy to do the financing one way and have the link the other. So I don't know. It's whatever the group decides how you want to handle it, how Kristen wants to handle it.
Okay. I mean,
well, actually, now that I think about it, there are costs to set up that webinar. So maybe you should hold the cost of the attendance the same whether you're in person or on the webinar.
Sure. Yeah, we could do that, or we could drop it to $50. There's no lunch, of course, so that's the only real difference. It's going to be pure profit for us on that. We could charge slightly less and try to just get people to end it that way.
So on the web,
That makes sense. The cost of the lunch, deducting the cost of the lunch makes sense.
Chris, on the webinars, you then broadcast the audio and the presentation?
I couldn't hear you very well, Chuck. Was that?
Again?
So, I couldn't hear you very well.
Oh, for the webinars, you broadcast the audio and the whatever PowerPoint you
Yes.
use? Okay.
Yeah. So they could obviously see the PowerPoint just like GoToMeeting. So that capability is there. I know that we want to reach that. Our goal is to reach as many people as we can. It's obviously to also have income to where we can expand the program and do more with it. The other thing is if they purchase the webinar, they could view it later, because we'll be recording them. So I think it makes sense. Maybe that ends up being $50 instead of $80. What do you guys
And then
think?
this is Kristen from LTAP.
The only thing about the webinar, let me give my thoughts. The biggest thing about the webinar is somebody like Kristen, somebody's going to have to monitor the questions and then read them like you did last time, Kristen. That worked pretty good, but otherwise, I don't
Yeah, Larry, we're losing you.
know how we would take questions that easily.
Yes. Yeah, I think I know what you're getting at. Yeah, I think the questions, you'd have to have some monitoring, would be the only way to do it. It was not too bad, and we didn't have a ton of questions, but I think there's ways to manage that, that system. Kristen?
Yeah, so I just wanted to mention, so our LTAP, our mission is to, offer free training. So, we're doing something like this. I mean, we could definitely probably assist, but we'll have to check with FDOT to make sure that they're okay, even though we're not the ones taking in the fees,
Okay.
that we'll have to make sure that they're okay with us doing this.
Okay.
But in terms of the questions, I mean, yeah, that it shouldn't be too much of a difficulty. We'll kind of do it the last time, as long as you remember, as you're giving the live session, to kind of talk, to the people on the virtual system as well. And we can do the same thing as last time, where we ask the question.
Okay. And I still envision us doing some of this for free. So there would be a section, on the webinar that would be free, but they would have the capabilities, if they wanted to attend the entire thing, to do that as well. So, okay. All right.
How
Well,
would you separate it, Chris?
What's
Chris,
that?
how would you separate the free portion from the other portion? In other words, can you do that, Kristen?
Usually what you can do is actually have like a different link. So let's say we were doing the after lunch, like your section, Larry, for free, which makes the most sense. We would just say the free webinar starts at 12:30 to 1:30, and during that time, then they can use the open link, and it's good to go. Then after that, it cuts off. That the free webinar ends. So that's kind of the way I think to handle it. On the technical side, we'll keep working on all that. I don't want to get too that is that if we can make that work, you guys in agreement that we could do that and offer people. We've got people in the Panhandle who'd love to go, but they're not going to be able to go to Southwest and Southeast Florida. But they might pay $50 to go, to listen to this content.
I think logistically you'd have, Kristen, can that be done simultaneous? Because you would be having the paid people in the morning, and then you'd have both people at noon, and then you go back to the paid people. So you'd have two separate webinar links. Is that possible?
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. We'd have two webinar links. So the free one, and then everyone that was paying that is on the free one would have to log off and then go to the other link. So that's how we would handle that.
Okay, I can work, Kristen. I'll work with you, and we'll line out the tech part of it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I think that makes sense. Any other questions on our Q1 training? Okay, cool. Let's move on. We're going to keep moving and try to keep this thing brief. So we've got conference training, and I'm kind of splitting that out. That's coming up. We've got our first one, which is in April 1st. We did get accepted, and actually we have the primo spot. We have the first slots on the Tuesday of the Florida Expo for Public Works Association. So that's from 8:45 to 9:45 in Tampa. And so that is a go. We are a go for that. We'll be submitting for Facers in that meeting is actually in June. So that's June 10th through the 12th. So that's not out yet, but we are going to submit something for that as well. So that is good stuff. There's going to be some others later in the year that we'll look at too, but we are trying to make a pretty big effort to get in front of folks at these conferences. Okay, moving on to the quarterly e-newsletter. The first one is in progress right now. We are putting some things together. I've got an article, kind of welcome article. We'll have one from Larry as well. We're going to have this first one is kind of going to consist mainly of informational, talking about the training, talking about what the center, what the council's doing, highlight the early successes, and then what we'll do in the future though is we'll be highlighting some exciting pavement preservation news, whether that be a project news from city or county or DC, or whether it be information on future training or new technologies or any of those types of things. That quarterly e-newsletter, which will be blasted out to our membership electronically, will contain some good information. So we're working on that. I hope to have that ready to go out, and I'll send it out to the board hopefully come the end of this month. So that's kind of what we're looking at for it. Any questions on that? Okay. All right. Moving on. You guys, I received a pretty good chunk of votes for in favor of doing the FPPC shirts. So I just want to go through that again and just see if there was any opposition to that. But so far, we're pretty much a board quorum of the voting members. I appreciate a couple of you guys actually saying, hey, I don't think we're voting members. So I kind of forgot and sent it out, but that is correct. So we have a few of our members who are non-voting members, but so far I have kind of unanimous support. Does anybody have any kind of opposition or concern? I do have one thing to bring up as far as providing our public folks with shirts. I do know that there's a couple folks as far as FDOT for ethics reasons that may have to purchase their own shirts, and that's certainly fine. We're not trying to get anybody in any kind of trouble or anything, but I did see that, and something we will stay on the right side of that and cognizant of. So.
Chris, do you have any idea what the setup costs are for the shirts and lapel pins? That's where the real money is.
Yes. Let me pull that up real quick while we're talking about it, and I'll basically send this stuff out so you guys can see it as far as what the cost is. Let me see if I can on my email here. Okay, all right. So for that, it looks like logo setup is $40 for the shirt. So that's a one-time $40 fee, and then it's just the cost of the shirts, which kind of range in the $33 to $35 range per shirt. So that's that. Let me pull up the same thing for the lapel pins. Okay, quote. Oh, okay. They waived the setup fee for pins. So I think that may be just based on what they think as far as the quantity is concerned. So on the quote for the pins, I got a price of $1.35 each. The quantity that we have set up, and this I envision being, this will hold us over for a couple years, but the quantity of the pins is 500, so that comes up to a total price of $675, no setup fee. So that's that. And for the shirts, one thing that we were looking at is as our corporate members and associate members join, then they can either they'll get a shirt when they pay, especially for the new members as we bring on the new members. So that's $35 out of the $1,000 that they put in. But they will be available for sale. So let's say that Cutler wants 2 shirts, or they want more shirts. Those we would offer, obviously, at cost, at $35. So when we send that out, we would do that. So the idea really is so that when board members are attending, whether it's conferences or workshops, that they're wearing FPPC shirts and not other logos shirts. So any other questions on that? Everybody pretty much support moving forward on both of those?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Outstanding. Well, we'll get that in process. I will send out kind of a version of that so you guys can see what they'll look like, and we'll take care of it and move on. So as we move down to the next discussion items, we're looking at future training ideas and priorities. As you know, we already have Q1. Q2, we're really looking at getting into the in-place recycling technologies. We have never done any in-place sessions before, and so and we've had obviously some pretty terrific members who are in this business that really have waited a long time to get to this type of training. So the way we're looking at this, I have had discussions with John and Bob Hall, and so one of the things that again we're continuing to kind of focus on is not have the actual members doing the training themselves. So they have, I know for the hot in place recycling, there's some user agencies that have got some experience with it. So we're looking at utilizing some not hired guns, but folks to provide that kind of training as well. And then we would kind of do the same thing probably for the cold in place recycling as well. So we're still working on that. We're kind of targeting in a May timeframe. So if you think about it, we're looking at Q1 would be that late February. As Q2 starts, we'll have APWA. Then in May, you'll see us sometime in May do the Q2 in place. And then, of course, then June, you'll see us at Facers. And then probably targeting that July, August timeframe for kind of our Q3 training. So which we are still working on putting that together. But that's the one. And I'd spoken to Wayne about this, maybe doing, including coming up to Gainesville and doing a session and including a tour of the state material.
Chris, just so you know, I did reach out to Pat Kennedy with the city and county of Denver about speaking at that first hot in place meeting. And he's all in on it and said that he just needed to get his approval from the people in the city and county of Denver, but he didn't think that would be a problem. So
okay, that's great, John.
He's set up, and he's spoken to a lot of groups before about hot in place, and they've been doing it for 12 years in the city and county of Denver and have a lot of experience. And he'll do a great job with that, and I think he's looking forward to it.
That's great. Yeah, I really like this concept of having user agents, speak to it. As long as they're technically able to, and it sounds like he is for sure. So I think it really adds to the credibility of the council when it's somebody who has used the process before.
If they mention anything, just let it go.
So yeah. Any other questions, feedback, or anything on Q2 or even Q3? If we do come up to Gainesville, Brian, I was kind of thinking about some options, because for paid training, FDOT wants to, obviously we wouldn't do it at FDOT's facility for the paid training, so we might actually look at kind of a almost like a field trip or something for the actual materials lab tour.
Hey, Chris, it's Wayne Velco. Hey,
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. Yeah, the tour would be great. We could always accommodate our group up here. Hey, just kind of an alternative, perhaps we could do something there at the T-Squared facility, down the road at the old DOT facility there. And, that might work. I don't know. They've always been agreeable to things like that. And, they're 5 minutes away from here, so
that is great. Very close.
It's just something to think about. Yeah, you're absolutely right. The paid for training or you have to pay for training really wouldn't work here, because of rules.
Yeah.
But maybe we could do something in conjunction with our neighbor down the street.
Okay, I like that. I was also going to reach out to Quo and Federal Highway Administration on one of these quarterly trainings to actually have them maybe include some of their education as well. So either about Federal Highway Administration programs, whether that's 5 or any of the other things that we think would be beneficial coming from the feds. So. Okay, excellent. Well, that is good stuff. So we're kind of cruising on down the line here. As I said before, we've got obviously some other conferences we're targeting to see if we can get submitted and approved to do more training as well. Larry, do you know, as far as just membership drive, that's kind of the last thing I had today. Do you know how we're doing as far as folks sending their checks in and re-upping for 2020?
I don't have a count. I know we received one.
Okay.
But we'd have to talk to the office and find out.
Okay. We'll get that out to everybody. And I know I've spoken to several companies that said, yeah, that they submitted it for payment. And I know for Larry Tompkins from Ergon had told me that, and a few others too. So no worries. We will update that, and we were actually looking at targeting kind of have everybody having it in, hopefully, or at least the folks on the board having it in by the end of this month. So we'll still try to reach for that. As we know, the governmental agencies don't pay anything for that, so this is really focused more on our founding members and our corporate and associate members. So at that point, then I really have focused on the kind of two-tier effect. So we're looking to get everybody re-upped who's been gracious enough to be active the last 10 years or whatever, and then we're going to be sending these out and going after some new folks, new team members and that kind of thing. So I'm gonna try to get that out as I shoot out the newsletter as well. So I'd say that the first month will be mainly renewals, and then the new folks re-upping in February. So that's my goal anyway. Any questions from folks on membership or how it works or what we're for or any of that? Okay, all right. Well, this is going very well. I want to just spend a second opening it up to any kind of new business that anybody has, any comments, any questions, concerns, feedback that we have. Let us know, and we'd love to hear from you guys. But if there's anything we want to do to kind of wrap up, I love keeping this thing short and let you guys continue your day.
Hey, Chris, this is Wayne Wilco. Hey,
Yep.
and, pertaining to your email from a little earlier today, I have 2 tentative dates for the Flexible Pavement Committee meeting. Neither have been confirmed,
Okay.
so rather than out there and starting rumors, but they're toward the end of April.
Okay.
The good news is neither one conflicts with the APWA Expo in Tampa on the 21st. So,
Okay, good.
yeah, because you know how that works. If you have like 2 things happening in a month, they're both on the same day. But
Yep,
that's not the case. So I hope to know for sure when the FCP will be in maybe about a week or so.
Okay.
It's scheduled to be in Tampa at the Turnpike facility there at Turkey Lake. So
Okay.
as soon as I know, I'll let you know.
You said, is that Orlando and Turkey Lake? You mean?
That's in Orlando off the Turnpike.
Orlando.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yep. Perfect. Okay. All right. Good.
Just I know. I'll let you know.
Okay. I just wanted to check that out so we know. Okay. Good deal. Thanks, Wayne.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other comments, questions, concerns, whatever? All right. This went pretty easy. What's that?
I was just going to say, Chris, you're doing a good job.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Scott. Well, I'm really excited. I wanted to let you guys know I pulled out this sheet. I did kind of a little deep dive on the webinar. We had 20 different private entities, mainly engineering firms, that attended the webinar in December, and we had 34 different public works entities that attended as well. So that's in addition to the group that came. The award for furthest away for webinar attendee was Tehran. So we did get some international. I'm not sure what to make of that, but we did have somebody internationally attend the webinar.
Good luck collecting those fees.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. But anyway, that was really exciting and made me happy. So anyway, if you guys don't have any other feedback or questions, comments, issues, we'll let everybody go and get back to it. And really appreciate everyone's involvement and how diligent everybody is in responding and getting to it. So
keep up the great work.
Oh, thank you.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Chris.
Yep.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, thanks everybody.
Yep, thanks, guys. See ya.
Yep. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Larry.